Welcome back to Investing and Trading Live, sponsored by Online Trading Academy. My name is Josh Lilquist, and covering the techniques, the do's, and the don'ts of the financial markets. And we were getting in some retirement strategies on that last segment, and we had a lot of people texting in for this investing class that we do here locally, and it's really focused on two topics: income strategies and wealth strategies. And if you have questions about any one of those, bring those in, and we can address any kind of questions or concerns you have with your retirement accounts or your income accounts. So just text the word investing to the number 210 for two seats for that class. Also, when you do that, make sure to ask for the jumbo pack when when you come into this class. You're going to receive that as well. So text investing to the number 210 and ask for the jumbo pack. When you get that text back, just click the link and you can pick your own date for this class. So we were talking a little bit about retirement on the last segment. Now, this summer, and I think you've been noticing this too, is we're seeing more people, and this is the title of the show and the podcast here, is people that are in their 50s and 60s have been coming to these investing classes.
Correct.
And I've been noticing a common theme. They're planning to retire, or they're either starting to plan, or they're about to retire, or they just retired and they want to protect and grow their retirement accounts. So we have a couple different categories. We're seeing the people that are starting to get ready for retirement. And here's the common theme. Yeah, I got a couple $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 in my retirement accounts, but I just know I'm going to have a gap to fill. I just don't have enough. So there's ways and techniques to have an income strategy off that retirement account. We talk a lot about that. The other category would be they're right at retirement, but they're a little afraid to actually retire because of the uncertainty in the market. Even though the market's up 30% in the last about 9 months, they're like, okay, well, this isn't normal, and we're seeing a lot of bad signs in the market. So they want to protect what they have. But also the third category, with the people that have retirement accounts and they are retired, they want to be able to protect and grow them, because I've been seeing a lot of people want to leave a legacy
Right.
for their family,
Right.
which I think is phenomenal, because they don't, it's good to help others. And I think more and more people want to be able to do that. So I know you have some techniques on retirement accounts and strategies that you wanted to talk about in this segment here. What are some different things that these three categories of people, that are in their 50s and 60s, what are some things that they can, actionable items people can do?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that we have noticed, you mentioned that 50 to 60-year-old group that are thinking seriously about retirement, and some of them that have, maybe $400,000 or $500,000. One of the problems that we're seeing is that they get too conservative, too concerned about not having that money continue throughout
Yeah.
retirement. And by being too conservative, they're missing out on some of the opportunities. They're not being protective. There's a difference between being conservative and being protective. If you're being conservative, maybe you're putting your money into something that doesn't even beat inflation. You probably have some fees involved in wherever your money is. So your returns have to be high enough to beat the fees plus the impact of inflation. And a lot of people, when they get into that age range, are, again, because of the way that they have been conditioned, they're being too conservative. And what we show you is how you can look at whatever retirement money you have and use that as a source of income, generate income off of it, grow it to the point where you don't have to watch it dwindle down when you're withdrawing money. You're going to have to do the required minimum distributions. But the problem that a lot of people have is that they just look at the pile of money they have in retirement. That's all they're going to have, and they want to just make sure that they can maybe see it. I think you've mentioned this
Mm-hmm.
before, where people like to see a number in their bank account or so forth. But if you're just taking money out of that to pay your bills and to live, at some point in time, that may dwindle down to nothing.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you this, Al. So you kind of made me think about something, because people like to see that number in there. I was at a wedding recently, and I had a family member talking about this same exact conversation. We were talking about, they had X amount of dollars in their retirement account, and I think it was several $100,000. And they're like, yeah, I know it's not going to be enough, but I don't have a lot of cash to
Yeah.
trade with to
Right.
be able to create an income strategy. And they said, well, I've been told not to touch that money. Well, and they said, well, do I have access to that? Can I use that for anything? I mean, if you have a 401k, can you borrow it? If you have an IRA and you're over 59 and a half, can you take some of that out and put into a trading account and use some leverage? I mean,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of things you can do, and there are a lot of people out there, Josh, that have changed jobs and may still have a 401k with an old employer,
Yeah.
and that's your money. You can take that, you can roll that into a self-directed IRA. But think about your 401k, for example. How much activity are do you have in that account? First of all, what do you have in that 401k? Do you really know what's in there? And are you making any changes? Are you getting any advice on how to make changes? Well, one of the things we talk about in these classes is 401k management, how to get better results, how to make sure that if something is happening in the economy, you're able to take advantage of it using what you have within that 401k. But first of all, you have to know what's available. You have to know what you have and whether maybe this is a time to rotate out of something. I mean, you can trade within a 401k. But here's the thing: if you have a 401k with an old employer, maybe roll that into a self-directed IRA. If you have, for any reason, left a company or are leaving a company, you can do the same thing. 401ks are great for two reasons. One is that they force people to put some money aside for retirement. And number two, if you have a company match, that's free money. But look at what you're doing. You're putting your money into something that maybe, if you're lucky, over the course of a number of years, will give you a 4 to 6% return on the upside with 100% exposure to 50% or greater drawdowns. Every time we go through a correction or a bear market, your assets in your 401ks are probably going to feel the full brunt of that. And that's what you need to eliminate, because when you go into retirement, you don't want to go into retirement like a lot of people did in the year 2007. And the first year that they're in retirement, they saw their assets dwindle by 40 to 60%.
But I think a lot of people haven't experienced that. So, I mean, talk to somebody that has if you haven't.
Sure, absolutely. Maybe your parents have, or there's somebody that has gone through that.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to be negative about this. You don't have to go through that. The people that lost 40 or 50 or 60% at one point in time might have only been down 2 or 3 or 5% or even 10%.
Yep.
And could have done something. That's where the risk management comes in.
And that's where a lot of people don't know what to do to grow those in the great markets that we're having now
Right.
too. I mean, the markets are phenomenal right now.
Right.
And that's why with strategies for these markets based off a trend, what you're talking about, which way is the market going? We actually have a tool that helps you draw that trend so you can visually
Correct.
see it. And if you want to learn more about these techniques and strategies on 401ks and IRAs, just text investing to the number 210 for a jumbo pack and a free investing class. So with the retirement accounts, a lot of people have 401ks and IRAs, and they've been told to contribute to it
Correct.
and just let it sit there, and so many people just put it to the wayside. Think about that for a second. That is your hard-earned money. I mean, this is crazy. People work sometimes 20, 30, 40 years and contribute to a retirement account, and they don't even pay attention to it. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But here's the problem. They've been conditioned to do that. Why? Because the fees that come along with that. What is it? Was it 30%? No, over half of your retirement account will eventually be gone with fees, right?
50 to 75%, depending on how long you have been involved in that
Yeah.
retirement.
Isn't that amazing? And you think of it this way too. If people are getting 2 to 5% rate of return, whoop-de-doo, it doesn't even keep up with inflation. But a lot of those gains is their contributions.
That's exactly right. Their contribution and the employer's contribution.
Exactly. So it's great because it's taught people how to save. That's the thing. But what we're seeing with people that are coming in, they have some retirement. Great. They've saved up a decent amount of money, but they know it's not enough. People are coming in, they have $2, $3, $4, or $500,000 in retirement.
Sure.
And they're like, you know what? That's just not going to last, because if you're making, let's just say someone's making an easy number, $100,000 a year, and you retire, that stopped. You're going to draw down that retirement account in a few years. And I was actually having a conversation with that person this morning. They said the same thing. It's going to be gone in a couple of years. I need to do something different. And that's why we have these investing classes, to go over these techniques to go over these strategies. If you have 40, if you're listening right now and you have a 401k or an IRA or 403b and you want more insight on it, come to these classes and bring those questions with. We'll answer those for you. When you come into this class, you're also going to receive a jumbo pack, which has some different techniques and strategies on retirement accounts. So just text the word investing to the number 210 for 2 seats for this class. So you can bring one for you and one for a friend, but also make sure to ask for that jumbo pack. Al, we've gone through a lot of topics here today. Great opportunities with this phenomenal market we're seeing, and market's going up right now. Will it continue? Who knows? I hope it does for some people's sake.
Sure.
But you know what? It doesn't matter because we have strategies for both directions. So we covered that. We covered the X-ray and how to make smart investing decisions based off a price chart, not the news. Let's hear today's OTA tip of the week.
Okay, well, today is a new day. Each day is a chance to start making a change. Real change, real growth begins when you take responsibility and you stop blaming others and other things and events and take your power to achieve your potential by being responsible for your life. The future is a blank slate waiting to be written, and it should be written by you. What you do today, that's what's going to determine your future. So start today.
I like that. When you have opportunity sitting right in front of you, do not let that opportunity pass by. Text investing to the number 210 for 2 seats to get started and take advantage of these great opportunities in the markets. Learn how it's done. Learn how the charts move, how price moves, and learn from Online Trading Academy. Text investing to the number 210. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire